Zaki not done with, but Alligator Blood's 3/4 Zaki. I'm thunderstruck running on, 100 to go. Alligator Blood from Zaki, I'm thunderstruck. Alligator Blood, the Gators going to do it today. Alligator Blood won it.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, behind the curtain look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host Scoot. I'm excited. It is stream week. Johnny Walter, you're sweating a little bit of perspiration just on the... What is it? Are you nervous?
Why would I be? Probably because I'm sitting next to you and you're wearing a Trell Mitt shirt. I'm a bit nervous. I'm a bit nervous that you've gone to the dark side, but no, not nervous yet.
A little bit.
What about? Funny.
Big stream this Saturday. Walt's ready to rumble, and it'll be interesting to see how much the boys give away. What's doing down in Melbourne, Nico and DK?
Oh, Nico, yes, good. Everyone, no, I'm fresh off a day at the show yesterday, Nico. Took Junior's birthday, so took him and Avery to the show yesterday. And I tell you so I know, you know it's going to happen, but there should be free containers of Vaseline handed out as soon as you walk in there, because it is one of the biggest handles you've ever seen. Like the handover when you're in there, I was there for 8 hours, is just eye-watering. And we're not, we throw money around and drink expensive bottles of red and all that sort of stuff and laugh and joking as punters. We've got money flying everywhere, but still, like, you've got to have some sort of reality. But, mate. It was a good day, but, mate, yeah, Vaseline next time, please, Royal Show. How you going, mate?
Yeah, I handled the day a bit better than you. I was out at Cranbourne, so, didn't get handled too much there, but, it always is a bit of a rip-off, the show, isn't it?
Oh, mate.
What'd the show bag set you back?
Avery wanted a little pony, won $35.
That's a good
mate,
go.
That's just the start of it. Oh, mate, but anyway. But it was a great day. There's lots of stuff to do there, and it's good for after COVID and everything be back there. So at least we had a race meeting on, Nico. Yeah. We actually raced in Victoria yesterday on a track that wasn't heavy as well for the first time for a long time. So I assume you put your hand out.
Yep. And now there's no rain for the rest of the week, so we should be sweet.
They're talking good three. They're talking good 3 Saturday, like that Ford upgrade to a 3. So
complete opposite of last week.
All right, I've got to keep it punchy. I'll go and do much talking today because apparently I've got to keep it punchy. So away you go, Scoot.
6 winners on top yesterday for Nico, so it was absolutely airborne. He's back in the eye of the storm, I believe. The big news this week is the stream. I'll just put a graphic up on screen now, and it's semi-finals of our Master Punter competition. And we've got John Walter versus Mark Lambourne in semi-final 1, and then we've got Anthony Don taking on John McLEOD in semi-final number 2. So it'll be from midday on YouTube. The banks are building nicely. I think Donnie and Johnny Walter, they're already well over halfway, and there's only a couple of $1,000 behind them. In hot pursuit is Mark Lambourne and John McLEOD. So if you want to deposit, I suggest that you try and get set by Friday, because Saturday morning the banks will probably be locked and done and dusted. So we're going to cap these banks at around 20 to 25K. These guys are going to get pretty aggressive in their staking, I would have thought.
You want to know my strategy in pictures?
I don't know what you're trying to do. What have you got?
Well, first of all, we got someone of Mark Lambourne's vintage here. We got Billie Jean King right in. She said, go to Johnny, go for it, Billie Jean King. So she wants me to crush Mark. So she's number one. I thought Mark was a bit of a chess man, so I'm going to start out chess player, the Queen's Gambit. We're gonna roll in there. Then if we need to bring the greats in, we got Fletch straight off the bench,
a bit higher.
Fletch straight off the bench, and and Carl from Caddyshack, just in case we need. If we have to go to the dark side, we're going to bring in the bad guys. So we got Mr. T, we got Dolphy Lundgren, Drago.
Did you sign all these?
We really need to go dark. We're going to the Vader. But then if we really need to bring in the big guns and we've got the good guys and Hulk's got to call us in and we're swinging for the fences late, there's only one man you go to when you got to grip it and rip it. And that's John Danehill.
Oh, God.
So that's my strategy in pictures. We've got it all covered, all angles. And thanks to Billie Jean King, she's obviously not a racing rant fan. Messaging in, go for it, Johnny.
Yeah, I know. Johnny Walter was in fine form yesterday. He found the poacher with Hugh Bowman, so you can just tell by the props that he's brought in, the shirt he's wearing, different angle, different thinker. So if you want something outside the square and you want some pure entertainment, it'll be Saturday stream and join Team Walt. He can find angles, and what goes through his melon, I'm not sure, but I'm definitely filtering my water up here in Queensland. It's something in the water. You are not sweet, mate. You are absolutely cooked. So it's going to be fascinating to see you take on Perla, two of the great minds and lateral thinkers I think I've ever met in my life. To move the show along, Quickly, trackscran this week. The winner is, it's incredible this. I would definitely go to the Winnie Park Dogs for this one. Peri Peri Chicken Burger with chips, $12. Tell you what, Nico, puts that $11.50 toast at Melbourne Racing Club to absolute shame. It looks a bit muggish in terms of deep fried, but I'd be all over that Peri Peri Chicken Burger. And I think the runner-up this week is, I tell you what, it's been a strong week for the trackscran.
I wouldn't eat that for $1,200.
I would. Beautiful. Grouse. Yeah, I would have. And this is a beauty. And it's a bit of a, he must have had a winner this day.
It's a throwback to that Wendy Roachhorse when she was feeding him the pizzas.
The Toya.
Yeah. Did she get suspended for that? Animal welfare?
She should have.
The runner up here is schnitzel and gravy with chips from Mitch Beer, who I think it might have been a head wobble. I think he's got a winner there at Canberra Racecourse. $14, schnitzel and gravy. And see that, DK? You got a keen eye for these sort of things, DK. See that the Ponder gravy under the chips?
Yeah. With schnitzel, it's just gravy. You just got to have if you go to the pub and just say you want the schnitzel, you want the veal schnitzel or something, and chips and side, you've got to get the thing. So can I please have a thing of gravy on the side? It is just, it's like ham and cheese. It's like goes together, Nico. You've got to have the gravy. So the gravy gets the seals that deal there, Scoot.
No cheese with the chips. Usually that's sort of a staple, isn't it?
Cheese,
gravy, and chips. You get that at the footy?
No. Loaded, like the loaded chips or something like that?
It's a Canadian thing. A weird one, isn't it? Cheese and gravy?
Canadian.
Country footy?
Poutine.
Cheese? No, never, Nico, never.
Oh, maybe that's just something where I sort of grew up.
Yeah, no. The cheese, didn't know cheese and chips.
Yeah, with the gravy.
Oh, Jesus.
Maybe this is
What
just
do you eat the
complete news to you boys, but that was a staple at the Stall Football Club.
Who's going for the veal over the chicken? Jesus.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, every time.
Oh, my
every
God.
time. Not even close. Every Tom, Dick and Harry does a chicken schnitzel and all different, they can't trust them. Some are thick, some are thin, some are, and then they want to charge you $30 for something. They should be, they should be wearing balaclavas serving it up, but they've got to get the veal schnitzel. It's a bit of quality, bit of quality.
Might be a 2-hour show today. Quick tip, anyone around the Gold Coast area, Mermaid Beach Tavern, $12 schnitzel on Tuesday.
Can you move it along?
Bosciola sauce.
There you go.
Can you move it along, please? Get off the schnitzels.
Onion. Beautiful.
There you go.
Anyway, so that's $12. I'll take you there one night. Well, that's about my limit.
$12 on pension week.
Manscaped.com is a sponsor of the show. Never nick your nuts. It's the ultimate if you want to keep everything up and downstairs tidy. It looks like Walt's had a fresh go. The lawnmower and the weed whacker. I usually have the weed whacker in my hand, but I don't because I've been using it. And early Christmas present, if you want to get in there, use the Little Birdie code for 20% off. Absolute beautiful business, manscaped.com. Today's show is going to be a bit sneaky from a couple of the panelists, I feel. They won't want to give away too much, so it might be Captain Obvious hats on today. But is Don as good? Cellius that he backed last start and on last week's show was $3.70 to $1.90 at Goulburn. Went like an absolute lead jet. It was one of those races. Godolphin set the leader out, and then Donny's horse just ripped home and got it in the shadows of the post. Beautiful, wasn't it, Walt?
It wasn't easy to run on there either. It was a good win.
Epsom Metrop is this week, and I think last week you got Cadre Dornard or you got J-Mac. He was looking between his legs for a while last Saturday. What was he looking for?
Yeah, I went full tin hat wearing. Interesting there. When it was like $180 to $3 or whatever it was, or $3.50 I think it might have even got to. Oh, it was a bit weird. It was a bit weird that he was really aggressive on it and decided to sort of take Tim on for the outside leader spot, which was sort of trick number one. And then the whole way he's kind of looking. And then when Timmy whipped around him, he half shit himself trying to push out, and then the stablemate got held up, come around him and missed the boat, the one that was off the map. It was a bit of a funny race to watch. But, obviously all wasn't well. The betting told the story with the favourite.
There's been some funny rides lately, but Timmy Clark is riding in elite fashion in Alligator Blood. Wowee. Last week, Mark Lambourne joins us to discuss the two features with Walt, so we get a little bit of an entree there. John McLeod's going to join us to chat Eagle Farm and the stream. I think my sausage dog's trying to have a go at Walt's leg. And we're also going to have a look at the TopSport Steamers Jacquino 2K at $8. Bang. And now it's found itself in an Everest, which is interesting. So always got to jot those bets down. Bet Dr. Lay of the Week, bye-bye Ellsberg. We got there by the cotton in our undies. So we just got him beat. So tomorrow we'll have another Lay of the Week for this week. So I think we're about 50%, 50-50 on our Lays of the Week. So we'll get some inflated top two pricing, and we'll try and take you guys on, or vice versa. But a good one here. We've got a bit of Radelaide racing back. We got. I was going to queue up some Backstreet Boys. Backstreet's back. A bit of everybody with the werewolves and get costumed up. But it's just great to have Bagman back.
Is he allowed to still use that name?
What?
Hasn't it been trademarked elsewhere?
What's that?
Bagman.
Beat the Bagman. He had it first.
Doesn't matter, but I think they slipped the trademark under his neck, didn't they? That's what.
What's happened?
No.
What? Who's pinched it?
The baggy nutsack bet or whatever it's called.
Oh, I don't know about that. There's only one beat the Bagman, and it's great to have him back.
Agreed.
Shane ADAIR.
G'day, guys. How are we? Nice to be back. I see the tune of the show hasn't really changed in the 6 months I've been away. We're talking chips and cheese. We're talking prop comics, all this sort of stuff. The show's pretty much gone down the tubes, I think. And, that baggy bet situation, that's before the court's fault, so we can't really discuss that at the moment.
Bagman, you were a winner on our Mooney Valley live stream. It was in person. You took down Casey and his team, you and Johnny Kelton, now of racing.com fame. You've both done stints on racing.com, but any tips or pointers for any of the charges? How do you get the big W?
Well, I think I was in shit myself mode when I had the pool in front of me, so I was a little bit tread carefully and then sort of try and unload towards the back end of the meet. I've wanted punters to obviously go back with some cash in their pockets. Everyone obviously handles it different. What will probably be chips in race one and see how we go. But look, there's no real way to handle it. I think it's just what you're comfortable with, and hopefully we can get returned back in punters' pockets, which is what it's all about at the end of the day. But it was a good night that night at Mooney Valley to get the result for the Crow Eaters.
It was a real eye-opener, that one. But Johnny Kelton, you showed a clean pair of heels and really disciplined and a sharp display of punting. And I think you boys took advantage of a lot of best tote and starting price bets. So I think that might be the theme of the day. The markets at the moment, they're only popping super, super late. But looking across the couple of tracks, I think the fields have popped out okay. I don't think there's any excuses for whoever's beaten on Saturday. There's enough meat on the bone there, Walt, across the states to...
Fields aren't out until 10:30.
Hey?
Fields, it's 9:50. You may think it's bloody some other time, but the fields aren't even out for where we're betting on Saturday. I think Donnie and I haven't seen a runner yet.
Donnie's starting to play Ducks and Drakes, telling a couple of
Donnie wants to know whether he can bet at Hawkesbury today, doesn't he? Start up.
When can I bet? Let him at it. Let's have a look at the Morphettville card and get a couple of your best bets here, Bagman. We'll get moving along. Race 8 is the Grand Syndicates join at Team Grand, benchmark 86 over 1400, just how we like it. 6x63 is a favourite here, 280. Zula is 480. Montaigne is $5. Lakes Folly, 850. Wings of Pastrami, 11. Bold Star, 14. And then you got Call Me Seamus, 18. Lord Vadavodstock, 19. And better the rest. We're going to have a look at the winning machine, Montaigne, here, and tell us why you like this one, Bagman.
Yeah, interesting market, this 8th event. 6x63, as you said, is quite a short price favourite, but quite a few question marks against its form lines. First time at 1400, barrier 12, hasn't really performed around the parks either. A few question marks. It is mapped to get a nice run on speed, but I thought horses like Montaigne, who we see on the replay here, absolutely hit the line like winks and get up late. And also number 9, Zula from the Will Clarkin yard, who have both put in excellent preps thus far, higher rating runs than 6x63. I actually had them both around $3.50 equal favourites. So I thought there was a little bit of value there, as maybe Dutch, the 5, Montaigne, and 9, Zula will take on this favourite 6x63. A lot of these horses heading towards a Murray Bridge Cup, so I think these form lines will stack up in the weeks ahead. And I think we can get this favourite rolled from this wide draw and hopefully get a nice collect scheme.
Love the performance. Real line finder, that Montaigne, wasn't it? No, it wasn't even entitled to win that race. It was sort of getting knocked around and just still had the temerity to push through and just pick up late. That's a big win.
Yeah, it's a real racehorse, Montaigne. It's been stepping up slowly in grade. Stuart Padman yard's done a really good job with it. I think you'll see it over the border in the coming weeks. It's just finds the line. It wants to win, and that's half the battle, mate, finding the horses that really dig in that last couple hundred metres, and that's definitely one of them.
The $1.01 chance is lob there too. If you didn't see the one, they had to put in the saver. Couldn't let his favourite Camp go without throwing in there.
And Kayla.
Kayla and Will Clark, and wouldn't be Shane. Shane's back, it's about the formula's still the same.
Still profitable, DK. Why change your winning formula, mate?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Self-interest.
Oh, I love it. Anyone else got any thoughts about 6x63, or just happy to pen it? Not done it, Nico? Anything?
Yeah, I would have thought 1400 would be a slight risk for him. Sort of, I think he won at the 1,000 metres sort of early on this prep. He definitely looks like 1,200 metre horse, but 14 wide draw, there definitely could be some negatives for him.
I think that's too. It's 1,400 wide draw. Like when things are distance queries, if they're going to get the suck run and box seat and hug the rail and save every inch versus covering ground, like it makes them more of a distance query from a wide draw, in my opinion. That's what I think.
Nice little pearl there from you, DK. Race 10 is the Get Out Stakes, and this could be very, very interesting. Could be Rosary Bead's job here for a couple of players in the tournament on Saturday, and Bagman's kindly found the value here, and it's race 10 over 1,000 metres, and H2O is $2.70 favourite there. Rodeo $6.50. El Salto $7. Point Blade $7.50. And you got horses like Magic Max $13, Sea Witness $16, Tom the Star $17, and better the rest. Point Blaze is trialled up here, Bagman. It's got Logan McNeil claiming 3, Shane Cale. Tell us why you like this one.
Yeah, Point Blaze I thought represented pretty good value in this event. You go back through its form, it's got good runs behind Ironclad and a couple other ones around at that listed group level. Other runs around benchmark 82 level. This is benchmark 68. Our favourite H2O has been well back this morning. I think you quoted their 270 there, Scoot. Is a lot shorter than that now as we go to air. Look, I thought the very wide draw, 16. First up, it's only raced against restricted 2-year-old Adelaide horses. It has to step up in grade today. 1,000 metres at the Parks is always an interesting caper as well. They tend to go really hard at this, and it does present an opportunity for the run-on horses. Point Blaze will get that nice suck run, as DK mentioned before, along the fence. I think can pop out late. Each way all day, around that $8 and $2.70 sort of price. Represents really good value. I'll be happy to take on H2O at the current quote. I think H2O is probably the horse you'd want to own going forward, but I think there's a bit against it today.
You can just see it in the green there in that trial, just in behind that leading bunch at $7.50. Be interesting to see how much action out wide at Morphettville the boys will be hunting. It's something I suspect Donnie might do. Definitely Mark Lambourne will be playing at Morphettville.
Mark Lambourne, really?
Yeah, your opponent.
He bets at Morphettville?
Well, the Racing Rant team run deep, and I wouldn't even put it past someone like John McLeod. Like they've just got people everywhere. So you're a bit of a one-trick pony. So it's going to be interesting.
Don't know me that well, do you?
Hey?
Don't know me that well,
you're very shifty. You got a lot of it on the ground as well. But I think these other guys on past streams, especially the Racing Rant boys, they've had bets
talk
in
about
Adelaide.
an Adelaide race ever.
Scoot's just made that up.
No, okay.
He what?
Jason has a party. Your mate from the other show.
Firebirds, not the Epsom.
They backed a horse in Adelaide against us in the Bet Doctor versus Racing Rant stream. Nico, can you remember that?
Yeah,
Has a party.
Hey?
Hazard bets everywhere, mate.
Yeah.
He bets underwater, over water, up mountains, volcanoes exploding. You bet on anything.
So will he be in the Rant's corner or your corner this week? Is there?
I wouldn't trust him. There's a lot of double agents. Yeah, we've got to be careful this week. Got to be very, very careful who I answer the phone to and who I don't. Don't want any clouding the judgment.
It's going to be exciting racing, and it's been great to have you back, Bagman. I'll give you the short shift here, but thanks for your input this week, and we'll see you more often.
No worries. Let's go get some chips and cheese.
Oh, God, and gravy.
Bit of track screen. We need Bagman on the ground over in Adelaide.
If DK sent me one out wide, would I trust him?
He'd have to be on your team this week, DK.
You know,
where's the out wide for the uni?
Murtoa.
Oh, Murtoa.
Gunbower got called off, of course, with all that bloody rain. It was going to be Christmas. Gunbower and Murtoa on the same day, but we're left with Murtoa, which is fantastic. But there's 500 and something nominations, 53, average of 53 a race. Like, it's only a tight track. They can only run 10 or 12. But anyway, I'll be quiet. Keep it sharp. Keep it punchy. Let's go.
TopSport are betting out people to win 5K on all the Group 1, so that's any punter. Doesn't matter if you're John Walter, Scooty, Bet, or Nico. They let everyone on the Group 1s to win 5K. So stop betting with the offshore bookies and bet local, and make sure you support the Merlan family there. So TopSport, they got the balls to take all our bets on for the stream. Not many other bookies would do it at all, so make sure you get around them. Nico, you're back. T. Lawson was pretty handy last week. Found Bella Nipotina at big odds. Bit unlucky. Huge slashing run. I was sooking up a little bit, but how's the week away?
It's good. Come back very fresh. Ready to rip into a massive day of racing from HQ, and then it only gets hotter after this. Next week's the Guineas, which just kind of feels like it's come out of nowhere, but
usually does when you take a week off during the middle of the carnival.
How was Foster? What were all the different things you did in Foster there, Nico?
I didn't really miss anything.
Go to the Foster pub, and was that about it? Or?
There's not much to do down there. Wouldn't recommend, to be honest.
So if you had the chat, and that's the last time you ever go on a Wayne Carnival ever again? It's a one and done sort of setup, or
I was only sort of away from like Monday to Friday, so like I came back for Friday night, so I don't know. I think it might be the way to play it.
Oh wow!
It's just a quick little freshen.
Just not Foster.
Yeah, just not Foster. Maybe go somewhere where it's a bit warmer.
Something to do.
Not bad up here. I need a dog sitter in late March, so you can have my house if you look after my dog, if you like. Nico, Flemington Race 5 is the Danehill Stakes on Saturday. 1,100 metres. Giga Kick is a favourite here. $2.35 into $1.95. Bonus Notches, $3.90 in from $4.60. Brucey Duel is $9. Swiss Exile, $9. And then you got Zoo Sensation, $16. And Better the rest. No replays here. Keep it punchy. Free bet. Are you backing Giga Kick or Bonus Notches, Nico?
Oh, Giga Kick any day of the week. He was sort of like $2.50 yesterday. There's been scratching a spacewalk, which is what, 8 cents deductions, and he's been backed since last night. So he's into $1.95. I thought he was probably legitimate $1.80 chance. This looks like a horse if you're looking to play multis or anything like that on Saturday. He'd be a horse I'd definitely be roving in those sort of things because it looks very hard to beat. Had a jump out since his last run and went outstanding at Mornington where Willow rode him. He's won down the straight. Barrier 11 should just keep out of trouble. I'd be shocked if he got beat. So maybe one for the Stream Boys to double up or treble up.
Any insight, DK?
No, he just looks like he's developed into a really nice style horse, hasn't he? C. Douglas there said he's going to take it slowly and he dodged the Blue Diamond and all that sort of business, and it looks to be paying dividends, and he's got all the punting form people and everything, horn up about. He's got that turn of foot, and so no, he looks pretty rock solid there, Scooty.
You got a bit of a horn for this other horse, Bonus Notches.
No, I just love the horse. And I just think he's drawn the perfect, I think he'll be right up Giga's ass, and he's hard fit. It'll be an interesting race.
Mm.
I did watch that replay a few times last time, and he probably didn't go as good as I thought. He had the bit of the speed helping him. Bonus Notches, and the most ridiculous uphill decision of all time, even though it was good to be here. I was happy to see it, but it'll be a good race, I think.
I still can't get out. Yeah, I still can't believe that protest. Lucky I didn't have a bet in the race, but I think Giga Kick is a serious horse. I just love the way he won and did things wrong last start, so I think he'll be hard to toss. Agree with Nico. All right, race 6 is the Bart Cummings. Sneaky entry into the Melbourne Cup. Interpretation's favourite here for $80. Desert Icon, $6. Daquin Sweet Jr. is $6.50. Luna Flare, $9. High Motion, $9.50. Vow and Declare, $10. And it's got a little bit of a tail, this race. Francesco Guardi, $14. And Shiraz, $14. The replay we're going to have a look at here, Nico, is Interpretation. This is a horse that you've been talking about for a while.
Yeah, this was sort of a month between, 2 months between runs for this run, and then a real fast 2,500 metre race here. Sort of High Motion comes outside him here. Now, she had to sit on him on this day. They went, 13 lengths above to the 600. Looked like they went out a really good gallop down the back as well. And I just think the way this race sort of panned out, he was left doing a lot of work, and he's left doing a lot of work into the wind, which was very sort of tough to do on the day. The 3 horses that ran past him there, Blue Cup, Vow and Declare, and High Motion, were all behind him in the run and all kind of followed him through. He did a lot of the work sort of blocking them from the wind, and they sort of just had the card on him late. Like I said, it was a month between runs there. This is like mini grand final day. He has to win this to get into the Cup, unless he wins another race later on this spring. The Camp's won it the last 2 years with Grand Promenade and Persan and gone straight into the Cup. The market obviously has a real big opinion of this horse, like started $7 on debut here in Australia, $4.80 last start, drew 14, was always going to be exposed, had the month between runs, but they just kept wanting to back him. Craig Williams goes aboard here. I think this is just everything's in his favour to run a really big race there on Saturday. 2,500 suits, had the run at 2,500, old Mark Lambourne Pearl there. You got to have the 2,500 metre run to be winning it next start. Out of the fast run race.
Little gear change.
Willow. Blinkers come off for the visors. So I think he might have overdone a little bit last start in the blinkers. Maybe Johnny said visors might work better. Willow's chasing a cups ride. If this thing wins, he's on it. I was surprised just 480. I think you could mark him much shorter, and he'll be my best result of the day on Saturday for sure.
Ooh.
Aussie, going for Aussie. What about Aussie? What about you know the horse Vitruvius? Pete Prushka? Anyway, when we were having McDonald's or whatever with the kids and all that, he asked me my favourite trainers were, because he has a Kennewell and his was Mars and all that. He says, and I said on N. Ryan and probably T. Dabernick. If I had a horse, I'd give it to one of them. Anyway, so Vitruvius. So I've seen it at Flemington the other day at the jump outs, trained by N. Ryan, owned by
Aussie.
They're going, I don't know how, where it got for sale. I went and Googled it. Was it for sale or anything? Anyway, yes, Aussie, Vitruvius. Keep an eye out for it when it turns up for N. Ryan. Ooh, look out, in Aussie's colours.
Does he put you in for 10%?
Well, there you go. He copped the tip. But everyone else might have been saying the same thing. You got a horse, give it to Nick Ryan, especially if you want to have a bet. Rides the work himself.
Flying N. Ryan.
Flying Ryan. Race 7, I can't add any more insight to the Bart Cummings. Looks a bit of a pox race for mine, so I'm happy to go with your confidence there, Nico. If it's your best, giddy up. Race 7 is the Turnbull Stakes. Absolute cracker here. Fascinating market too. Looks very short to my eye. Gold Trip, $3.60 on it. It's got a big weight drop. It's got Jamie. Understand all that. Duay or Duis, $4.60. Profondo, $9. They love just putting him in at single figures. Inspirational Girl, $12. Young Word Hut, $12. Allegron, $14. Numerian, one of mine, $18. Knight's Order, $19. Great House, $20. Maximal, $20. Smoke and Romans, $20. Surefire, $20. Chapada, DK's old horse, $26. And you got He's a Shocker, $34, and much better than the rest. Might as well go through them. Crystal Pegasus, $67. Luncy's, $81. And then Milford, $151. Replay here. We're going to have a quick look at Profondo and Duay last start.
Both disappointing, I thought. Profondo sort of had the run, kind of half falls out of the screen here late. He didn't really find much. I think he'd be better on a dry track, but I think he's got to bring his absolute best there on Saturday. To this point in the race, Duay looks like she's going okay, and you think, she's going to find the line here, and then she finds absolutely nothing late. She's eased down over the line, pulled up 1 out of 5 of lame, which probably isn't too bad, but it's not a great thing, is it? Her action doesn't look great there late. Josh Parr eased her down. I don't know. The first up run was really good, I thought. Duay, fastest last 200 in the Memsey, with I'm Thunderstruck, Alligator Blood. That's sort of been a good form line.
How slow did they go in that race? What was the pass?
It wasn't quick. It definitely was slowly run. I'll just get it up here.
Anyway, sorry, that was a question without notice, Nico, but apparently they went pretty slow, didn't they?
Duay's gone 4.3 below to the 600.
Class average was 10 below.
10 below. Yeah, that's I'd say that wouldn't have suited it.
The problem is she can sprint off that. Like, she's been in races like that last prep where she just charged home, was running the quickest, closing sectionals, and then here she's just sort of laboured. I don't know. It's moving day, isn't it? If you're running well on Saturday, you're in big races and going to be running well for the rest of the spring. But if you're not, you're probably not going to be there to play. I kind of thought she was a bit hard to really want to be sort of betting up on her. I think Gold Trip should be favourite and is favourite. I'm not surprised to see that at all. Drops in the weights. I thought this was a very big run and defeat. Sort of had the break between runs, loomed up into the race here. He did a lot of work between sort of the 1,000 to the 400 metre mark to get into the race, what some people call like a mid-race squeeze. And then he's just very sort of out on his feet here late, runs the 8th fastest last 200 of this race, and he's still right in the finish. I just think he was lacking a bit of condition for this sort of run. The 2 horses that beat him were 3rd up, Uncle Bryn and Smoke and Romans, who had pretty good form. Like Uncle Bryn ran 2nd and Military Expert, come out and run well on the Sounddown Stakes. So like the form around him stacked up there. Now he drops 5.5 kilos in the weights. Had that run, 2,000 metres. He's in like his top weight in the Melbourne Cup and the Caulfield Cup, yet somehow he gets in here with 54.5 kilos. Like, it's elite placement just with the set weights and penalties and how it works. If I was betting in the race, I could probably, bet up Gold Trip and save Duay. I don't think anything else can win. I think it's either Duay shows up and she's at her best, or Gold Trip just beats him.
Isn't the firming track going to be a concern for him? The connections have said they definitely want Sting out of the ground for Gold Trip, and it's going to be that 4 up to the 3, they're saying. So by that time of the day, I would say it's some concern for him, and not being able to run past Smoking Romans there would be in the back of my mind too. I know he said it at 45 days and a bit of fitness and stuff, but anyway. But yeah, the set weights and penalties, the structure of the race certainly favours him more than it does Douay, that's for sure.
I think one of them wins. I couldn't really come into anything else.
Wow, these are big words. John Walter may not want to give too much away in terms of the stream, but I'm happy.
Line up, but mate, if Surefire lines up here at 20s, I'll be having 5,000 a win, 20,000 a place, and that'll be the end of the stream for me, because that is the most ridiculous price I've ever seen in my life.
Oh dear,
Douay went like an absolute crab there. Gold Trip couldn't beat me. Profondo's more Gary Gone than DK and I have ever been.
There's holes at the top of that market everywhere.
Knight's Order's just an enormous price, $19 if it runs, and Numerian's ridiculous as well, but they're all in Sydney as well, aren't they? All of them.
So I'm interested to see which way a couple of these go, but I couldn't agree more. I can't believe that Gold Trip underdone, if it was underdone last start, and then you got Douay. It was an okay run. I think she was off a setback. Wasn't she off cardiac arrhythmia or
Yeah, and they said, obviously got a decent connection there. They said it's nothing and whatever. It was like a pinch something or something, like just a complete nothing, the 1 out of 5, and don't worry about it. But holy, like looked like Michael Flatley across the line. It was bloody river dancing. Like, yeah, I don't know.
What's its target, Douay?
Melbourne Cups.
It's our number one. It's our number one seed, local seed for both cups.
So she's not going to the Cox Plate. Is my question.
No,
I'd say unlikely.
And then Gold Trip, I think he's going to the Cox Plate. Maybe Melbourne Cup after that, is he?
Well, I'd like to parade before the race or something.
Is he? He's going to is he?
Or they're going to lead him around. He's got no feet, no horse.
I can see the point, Surefire. I think, if you're looking for those kind of horses, Surefire definitely has enough talent to sort of be in the finish. I think Maximal's probably in the same boat. Same boat.
Walt's married to Surefire as well. Like, you care for horses you're in love with, isn't it?
I'm out, like, if it, the last two runs, right, you go back and first up run, it's runs last prep, I'd have it favourite for the Caulfield Cup. So
it was favourite. So.
Yeah, that's right. So then like completely forgives for mine. So therefore, it's just a redonkulous price for mine. Back on a dry track, Blake Shin, who rode it last touch, J Mac, but he didn't have a lot of luck. Timmy carved him up going 100 miles an hour, and he had to chase him. Back on a dry deck with Shin again, begin again aboard.
Yeah, what's just the look on his face?
It won't run. That's a sick part. He'll go around in the Metro. With Willy Wonka on it. Willy Wonka.
Oh, I thought
that's why you backed that thing yesterday. It was Pike off. Saw that.
Did you see the ride he gave at the start before?
No, I didn't. I didn't really need to.
Go back. Help yourself. Oh my God.
I thought Young Werther was a big price here. I thought inside draw, very well suited. It's got form around incentivised in this race. And it ran okay behind your horse, Floating Artist, first up last prep. I thought it was a similar type run first up this time in. It's got D Lane, 61 kilos back to 54.5. $13 Young Werther's a great price. I thought a leg run will only improve. He's got good form around Hitotsu. And then I sort of agree with Walt, but less horned up for horses like Maximal and Surefire, depending on where they sort of go around.
Between us, we like 10 of them. Between us, we like 10 of them.
Well, that's what I mean, but there's no way I'm chips in on Gold Trip or Douay.
And that's how they hit the line last year, remember? Wasn't it? The Music Man's horse won last year.
The Turnbull?
Yeah, wasn't it?
No, that was the Australian Cup, I think.
Australian Cup. Well, Homesman, who won this race?
Incentivised won the Turnbull last year.
Oh, dear? Okay.
It's sort of gone back to the Turnbull of old. Like, if recent years it's been a real good horses race. Now it's a Cups lead up again, which is where a lot of these are sort of aiming. Yeah, I can see your points, the horses at odds, but the way I'm probably looking to back Gold Trip on the day, yard dependent.
And I think you can do worse than have a tiny bet Milford each way. $51 the place for a horse like Milford is crazy.
Is that number 11?
Number 7?
No, the number 11 horses we like in the race.
It is. Well, it's 200 to 1.
Well, it's a good sign for Melbourne racing. We like more horses than there are horses in the field in Sydney.
Puntingform.com.au, the best form guide in the business. The supporters from Daydot, so make sure you use their website. It's so simple, so easy to use. You can see the section data. You can see little patterns in horses' runs to see if they're fit or if they're flying. And as we were talking about, if they've gone fast or slow to the 600, and it can help you solve the puzzle. Nico loves it, and it's been a game changer for me. We're going to talk Sydney racing next. Not that the field sizes are big, but
are we going to lead in with the promo from the Everest with people throwing drinks at each other and flashing the notes all over them like they're at kittens and stuff like that? Are we going to lead in with that?
I actually thought it was one of their better ads.
that a good thing or a bad thing? Or
No, I just thought,
not one person in that ad's ever had a bet.
hey?
Not one person in that ad has ever had a bet. They're not even watching the races.
It's for the people that are going to see Jason Derulo or Temper Trap or whoever they've got.
Who's the people that they've brought in, the headliners?
I don't know, but I think
Googled them and it said
they're
something
very
like
good,
a drum band or something. So are they like a
I think it's Rudimental.
I don't know what that is.
Rudimental's for the
I
Everest.
think I've been called that in my time.
Are you been called?
Rudimentary. Yeah.
So it'll be on the Everest, and I thought the ad was okay. Peter Volandis, it's his first tweet in about 10 years, I think. And
did you see the people who retweeted it? You just got to go through it. And everyone who's retweeted it and not had an opinion, just scrap them, just block them, just mute them. Oh, my God. The list is long and distinguished.
What do you think of the ad, DK?
I didn't see it.
Nico?
No.
I saw it on Twitter, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, that's right. I saw it was there, but I didn't.
Just couldn't be bothered.
I thought I saw Nico in the ad, to be fair. I think he was in.
But it'd just be like something coming from Kim Jong-un, wouldn't it, in North Korea to the North Korean people? Like, it's just a propaganda. Here it is. This is the only, that's all I can assume. That's what it was. That's why I didn't watch it.
And as I said, go and have a look at the list of the people who retweeted, and they're the generals. Yeah. Xiao Ming or someone, I don't know.
Okay, we're going to have a look at Randwick races despite small fields, and Mark Lambourne from Racing Rant joins us. How are you, Mark?
I'm a little bit miserable down here, Scoot. It is just drizzling away. There is rain around. There will be more rain around today and tomorrow. Cold and not so much rain around on Saturday, but we're looking at a murky track with a bit of a southerly wind. So the rail's been out 3 metres on 10 occasions in the last 2 years. And it's played wide, except when the wind's from the south. So that will at least even the track out, may even assist the on-pace inside horses. Make of that what you will. We're down to 11 in the time-honoured Epsom. It's worth $1.5 million, and it doesn't look much of a race, although it'll be good fun to bet into, I must say. We've got the usual wallers. The Metrop is a bit thicker, but there's some doubt over some runners in that race as well, so we'll get into that.
Yeah, the dual nominations are causing a bit of havoc, and just as a bit of a side note, I found it interesting, and you can answer this one, Walt. Chris Waller, he still didn't know by maybe midday yesterday who was going to ride all the Metrop horses. What's going on there? What took him so long to notify everyone?
Well, I don't think even he knew his benchmark 77 horse was going to be number 15 in the ballot. It's he was probably trying to find a Wednesday race for it somewhere, and now it's in the Metrop. So you can't really be against. It falls the weights and stuff. He probably didn't know who was going to accept, whether they're going to bump weights and things. And that stable's not really. They don't really.
Right, I'm going to disagree with you there, John, because he knew exactly who was riding those horses, but the declaration for riders was 12 o'clock on Wednesday, so he just didn't do it until he had to.
That's the other reason. He just does what he wants. It's not exactly rules.
It's a shocker, isn't it?
There was. I would imagine that he would have known. If there's how many there was, 6, he would have known 5 of them, and maybe there was a bit of a topsy turvy over one or something like that. That's probably what the hold up would have been. It wouldn't, and he doesn't care. It's not him doing anything untoward. He just doesn't care.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes.
Let's have a look.
Well, he's also too big to fail. So, there's a number of ways you can look at it.
Yeah.
You could argue that we're fortunate he's around, because what sort of race would the Metrop be without his half a dozen?
Well, the Hill Stakes is an if they're back up there, maybe they would have all gone there. How many are going to end up with their 6 or something? It's going to be an awesome race too.
Yeah, it's looked like that most years, hasn't it? So, I mean, that's sort of how it's been.
Just a cool 580,000 to the winner there too, with most of them being second up and having no interest in this race.
I think there's a race yesterday at the Sunshine Coast. I think it was race 5 or 6, a 1,600 metre, maybe class 1 or something like that. Go have a look at that race and figure out how hard it is to back a Waller run in a race and the betting and stuff. If you want just a good example of how hard it is when Waller's got multiple runners, go check that one out as a little bit of homework. Sunshine Coast yesterday, race 5 or 6, 1,600 metre, and it will absolutely drive you crackers if you have a look at that one. Let's have a look at the Epsom, race 8, and have a look at the market here, Ice Bath, and let's have a couple look at some replays shortly. But 390 Ice Bath, Hinge is 420, Top Rank 460, Crosstalk 11 into 750, Fangirl 10, Nimmer Lee $13 Converge, back from the Abyss, $19, Ellsberg 20, and then you got horses like Kiku 26, War Eternal 26, and then Papali $81. Replays first, and then we'll get maybe Walt to open up the batting. But this is Ice Bath and Hinge last start. I've already seen this replay once when we previewed the Melbourne show, but Hinge is an interesting one. I see a couple of people have marked it a little bit shorter on the Twitter sphere. You've got Animo just sort of beast him here, and Scooty's little $34 ticket on Ice Bath, just running a nice second though each way. Beautiful. Well,
this race or the race in general? Oh, well, it's obviously just completely airborne, Ice Bath. Never been one of my horses and always loved to oppose it, but it's just, it's just going so well. Both runs back of, the conditions of the wet track probably suits it, but the shape of the races haven't.
And never do.
No, that's it. But what is this race? What is this race?
It's strictly head-to-head. Ice Bath Hinge, who finishes first past.
Well, probably what Mark was talking about before is quite important. The pattern, if there's any hint that it's down the middle, Ice Bath's certainly going to be the one, and I would imagine that Crosstalk's going to put on well and truly enough speed with Michael Schumacher aboard on Saturday.
she had a test drive with Supremo yesterday. That what you're thinking?
If she gives this horse once, she'll get done for speeding on Allison Road, and oh my God, like they're going to go quick. That is probably the good part about this race, that she's in it and she's on this horse, because it looks at least there'll be a decent tempo and set the race up. But
but none of the others want to lead. So no. Ellsberg, Nimmerley or Hinge, they don't want to lead. So Crosstalk. What? So you're suggesting that Rachel will just put them to the sword? They are the instructions?
No, definitely not the instructions. I think she's going to reference. She'll go back through and say she rode Crosstalk in a gallop 6 years ago, and then it came out and led on the way in a maiden of a 1200 at Canterbury, and the tactics there suited. So she's going to give it a squeeze early, put 10 on them, and then be gone at the 400.
Let's have a look at an example of this work with the last start replay where Top Rank mows down Crosstalk here. And do you want to? You're in form,
Mark.
here.
When you were watching this race and O President was carving up the favourite Crosstalk, and O President was first up from a spell, did you think that Rachel would be riding both of those horses at their next starts?
It's hard to imagine, isn't it? But look, yes, I did expect O President to be ridden that way in that race, and I came away from the race thinking, well, that's a interesting Epsom lead-up for Crosstalk. But is this race good enough? I mean, we've got Purple Sector and the Evil Blue there down the outside. I ended up saying this wasn't sufficiently deep enough. Well, we had a nice return by Top Ranked, and he retains the Genius Rider. So, but I ended up going the other way.
The wait for AG sort of, the setup of like a real, it wasn't a gut buster because he sort of sat back in the field, but he certainly had to maintain a strong run first up, heavy, with a big weight and everything. It's not really the ideal lead in for a horse like Top Rank. You wouldn't think to a normal Epsom, but this isn't a normal Epsom, so it's just so tricky, isn't it? It's just
it's scary because he just hasn't made it to a second up start in a few
so
preps.
Long.
Like, ooh.
And then you got Fangirl. What was that last start? Sort of missed the kick, got keen. She probably needs dry. If she got dry and Converge got dry, it's a different story. We're obviously nearly a certainty not to see dry
or dry enough anyway.
Yeah, dry enough exactly. Yeah. So. I kind of agree with you. Like, it's just scary. If you told me that I was going to be tipping Ice Bath at what price is it? Under 3-1 in an Epsom,
$3.90.
Oh my God! But it is
Here we
what
are.
it is.
So last time J Mac was on Ice Bath, she presented for the punters there at $2.40 and ran a nice fourth beaten 5.5 on this track. What do
that
you
was
make
a funny race, isn't it?
Yeah, it was an odd race. She didn't get a card into the race. She really wants 16 runners and a nice smother. I suppose 11 runners may suffice, depending on how much Crosstalk breaks up the field.
And like you say, that she wants the smother, and you want 20s. You want 20s in a 16 horse field with big pressure. You don't want 5 to 2 or 3s or whatever it is. And then you've got Hinged up there who doesn't really have much to put a race away. Like you could see it sort of stalking Crosstalk, hitting the front and winning. But again, not really a horse you want to hang your hat on, I don't think.
All right, so let's talk about the other girl there, McLEOD, that's got a sense of timing about her. She's fourth up into this race and 7-day backup. She sat outside the lead the other day. She may get 1-1 here, depending on who wants to do the chasing on crosstalk. I've only marked a 10-1. I don't think she's any spoil in the race, but she's certainly one I went looking for a bit.
She's a bit similar to Hinge, isn't she? Like going to find a similar spot. She's going to present. She's not going to find 3 lengths. She's going to find half a length, and she's going to battle. So they're very similar types, aren't they? They're sort of, you can nearly bracket them that they're going to be in a very similar spot and coming together, and whether something's got the turn of foot to get past them is the key.
Yeah, okay. So the stalkers there, top ranked Ice Bath, perhaps Fangirl if she
in the mood.
Well, if she's in the mood, they're I suppose we walk away from this race after number 1 wins and going, well, that was exactly the sort of platform you wanted, and such is life.
Well, it's the only horse that you could actually, if it, the moons align and it does improve, and it's the first time it's been sound or whatever the hell its issues are, it could just go bang. Like its form's actually really good. It's never had a good setup here ever, and it's never done anything but run good races.
If the horse is 100%. Sweet. Top rank is the go, but I think the safest way to play would be probably Ice Bath, listening to what you guys have just said.
Yeah, which again, what does that mean? Just
no,
go,
doesn't mean
well, that's just an embarrassment for a form assessor, really. It's what it is. Mm-hmm. Look, I went Hinged on top because she at least led last time. Animo put her down. She boxed on as well as you'd like. For this race, third up, she's going to posse there. Karen, that's his happy place. So Hinged on top from me. I went looking for Ice Bath because of the J-Mac and the conditions. And Emily, I gave an honourable mention to. So top ranked, I'm going to have been around with my heart in my mouth.
The Metropolitan here, a quick look at the market. Durson's favourite, $3.80. Newcastle Cup winner, Ladonda V, $7. Groove Ferry, $8. Stockman, $8. Surefire, $9.50. And No Compromise, $12. And then you got Arapaho, $13. Hammer On has been hammered. 51 into $15, if I can see those flux correctly. At least 31 was bet. Mancayan 16, and then Chalkstream 26, Realm of Flowers 26, and Sacramento 34, Cucaracha 41, and then you got Cariff and Francis Garati both at $51. Let's have a quick look at the replays here. Durston, Newcastle Cup, Mark Lambourne. Talk us through that, back to the fence.
Well, he found a jet going out wide to Wyong and then Newcastle. I'm not sure whether it was all J Mac, but he just had a poke around there in a 1500 won by Crosstalk the Winter Stakes, and then put to the sword there in a 2,000 metre race, and suddenly J Mac jumps on board. He looks like he's got a new engine. This is the sort of horse that I'm looking to oppose coming back into Proppersville. I'm looking more at the regulation lead up. I sort of certainly went looking for him, but it is J-Mac to K-Mac, and he seems a bit too well found.
Yeah, Kieran McAvoy's not setting the world on fire, is he, at the moment?
These are his races. Sleepy Mac, he just goes to sleep and produces them when they need to be produced. But
he did ride a double last Saturday.
He's going awful for me.
So he's gone at 6%. Current season.
Well, I always argue when someone said that he's gone and that he was never found. So, like, he was never actually there. He's just one of those, like Tommy Berry, that he's got this aura about him that he's something.
Who would you rather riding for your life, K-Mac or Willie Pike?
Well, is it a close finish? Because you need Willie down on the horse's neck. That is a splendid look.
Let's have a look at.
You need Willie down on its neck. There's a soundbite. That's a good one.
Let's have a look at the next replay here. It's at Kingston Town. You got Benno scratched with that little stable mishap. They've given it the wrong treatment. Allegron's going to Melbourne. You
had a heart transplant and they caught it.
Surefire as Jewel. And then you got Stockman here, and then No Compromise in the race. And
which race is this? This is Surefire about 9 years ago.
This is No Compromise. Many starts ago.
This is just you trolling me after I'd
finished. This is the Manion Cup.
Don't know what we've done there. We were looking for the Kingston Town there, but it was definitely Allegron nosing him out, and then No Compromise hit the line okay, and then you got the others sort of running on.
I had to pull him up, Mark. He had Fireburn down as replays for the Epsom, so
I don't know what's happened this morning. I thought I was in actually pretty good nick this morning, but I've had a complete mare. Let's talk about the race in more detail. Anyway, we'll move along.
Yeah, it's got a bit of the other feel of it. Stockmans are going very well coming out of that race. I would have preferred it in the 2000 over the 24 here. Bit of a gunner horse, but gets a nice draw. Wetter the better for him. I probably came back to the horse that you showed the replay for. Actually, No Compromise. That he's just a little bit better price. Think he's going as well as he can. This is obviously right up on his list of targets, and Tommy Berry instead of Jay Ford, I think is significant. Actually, a positive. Jesus Christ, a bit the same as Mark. This Durston, it's airborne, and if it was dry, I'd certainly be hard to be looking away from it. But just with the conditions looking a little bit dicey, it might not be able to do it. And it was flattered last start, like that slow run race. Found the inside that everyone seemed to be wanting to get away from for whatever reason, and just went bang. This is back to certainly a different level of horse. I want to oppose Grove Fairy. Just the ferret up there is a big change from Timmy, and I love the gear changes on Chalkstream. They were nearly as long as its form list. There's got muffs and things. I don't know what the heck that horse is going to do, and if Hammer On wins, he's the best I've ever seen, Waller.
Well, he's tried this a few times. He's parachuted one of his Wednesday/Saturday horses into the Metrop a number of times in the last half a dozen years, and it's never worked. They're not set for the race. They're not set for the race. Yes, they're appealing in some respects. They're down in the weights and they're generally got a quick backup and they're lightly raced. But this is a race for horses whose target this has been. The issue I have with this race each year is I like my horses to have 2,400 metre runs for 2,400 metre races. Everyone will know that. But it doesn't quite work for this race because the 2,400 metre runs are either the Newcastle Cup over 2,300, close enough, and the 2,400 of the Colin Stephen, which has been way too weak since it was shifted to Rose Hill. So I've got to go with the Kingston Town. And Walt made the case for No Compromise, which is the horse going to the 2,400 at the right stage of his preparation with the right platform and the jockey change to boot. And what else do I want to say? Well, Surefire has had really unfortunate runs his last two. I would definitely be on. In fact, I'd mark him favourite if he runs in this race. So,
where do you think they go from the draw? Do they just bite the bullet and go back this time?
I have to go back. The speed. Well, he's got enough runners to actually handle the speed. And I don't know what you thought about the map in this race, but it's not clear cut. You had obvious four to go forward in the Epsom, whereas this race looks up for grabs.
It scares me. So, like, when gays look like they're going to control, say, 1-2, that normally means she controls, like there's no real spoilers of Wallers who you never know, but maybe Chalkstream will go crazy or something. But if Sacramento sort of goes up and Winona sits and runs cover on Grove Fairy, you wouldn't imagine there'd be too many changes. It's not when gays are sort of controlling, they don't normally send out Apaches, do they?
No, I mean, it's there it is. Everyone take their positions.
I think the giveaway is the jockey placement here. With Tommy Berry, I just don't know. I think Surefire would go to Melbourne.
I think we've just found the reason why the jockeys weren't named.
I think the jockey bookings are So it's given away. I think Tommy Berry going on No Compromise means that's Waller's top seed, and I think that he's taken Willie Pike out of play by booking Surefire.
Look at you, Scoot. You're just giving us all. You're telling us all how we should look, how confusing it is to handle a team of Wallers, and you try and work it out, and you just can't resist you having another stab.
I reckon he's just found a tweet or something out wide there where he said the Surefire's going to Melbourne myself, but I'm
just
with him.
I think that was sort of my theory.
I got a feeling Surefire won't be running and it'll be going to the 2,000 metre race in Melbourne, and probably our battle will be decided on that because I just love the pain of Waller and that sort of stable changes, and we may as well go to Melbourne, throw it all on, and go to bed.
Yep, you're gonna be hard to beat, aren't you?
If it wins, I'll be hard to beat. I promise you that.
J-Mac to Willie Pike just seems like a real crazy thing to do. And even Waller couldn't be that silly, could he? And that's probably, I think you guys have found the right horse in No Compromise.
Well, just at the price range, yeah. And he's just everything's, at least he's got ticks in, every box pretty much.
Nico, any opinion?
Oh, gee, tough race. Both tough races, the Epsom and the Metrop. Look, like Mark said, Durston just looks like a new horse ever since J-Mac's gone on, but I think the market they have to factor in Kieran's recent record, don't they? Like, they can't just not look at that. Like, he's on Hinged and this horse. Is that going to be the reason you don't get, say if J-Mac was on 280 versus 380, could you get $4 Durston, 420? Do they take on his recent sort of numbers, or do they just sort of not even look at it and sort of look at
7-2 was my stab at the expected price. So let's hope for that, Nico.
Okay. Yep.
I think you're going to get beat. Yeah, I'd be taking him on.
Yeah, tough. Real tough race. I think Don DeVee has to come into some sort of calculation. He's been 12 into 7. There's been some interesting moves in both these markets on TopSport. He was probably one I thought was interesting, given he's got J-Mac, and then his last heavy track 2,400-metre run, he did smash Arapaho, who sort of ties in very well with all of these horses. I thought he was an interesting market move in this race, 12 to 7. I thought Hinge was very interesting with TopSport 6 out to 10 in the Epsom. So there's been some bookmaking early.
They do like to have a go. I tell you what, he was very keen to let us on at Lismore last week. We're only betting on Hawkesbury, but there was no proposal that was not well considered. So we had a fabulous experience with TopSport last week, albeit a losing one.
I'm still trying to find holes in the guy. He just seems to be too nice to be true, old Tristan. There's got to be skeletons in that closet. I've never encountered anyone who's...
Beware the smiling bookie, yeah.
He's been. It's going to be great. It's going to be on for young and old. Got some tricky little races there, and it'll be interesting to see where Surefire accepts, but no compromise and maybe a take on Durson play there. But if you like what you hear from Mark Lambourne, make sure you sign up to Team Racing Grant via littlebirdie.tv and jump in and deposit through TopSport in the My Benefits account section and get financial and back those guys in. So I think you're going to make a late run. I think their bank's lagging a little bit behind, but Walt's the front runner.
Once all my haters pop in, he'll go through the roof. Don't worry about that.
Who you got favourite, DK? Walt or Lambourne?
What was it? I didn't see what the betting was in the early one, but it's nearly $1.85 your pick, isn't it?
85?
That's what I bet.
Oh, Jesus, you're opening a corporate too, are you? This'll do me. The sick parties, that's nearly top odds these days.
That's right.
No, I think there's a little. Everyone's got marked slight favourite, but the early money's been for Walt. So interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, well, that's because he was posted as the roughie, so that's why. But thanks for all that, Scoot. Of course, Racing Rant will have a Melbourne preview this week because we've been filming Melbourne since the beginning of September, and I've found that very interesting because I don't normally spend as much time as I have been on the Saturday meets. So I'm looking forward to Turnbull Stakes Day as well and seeing if I can get amongst something there in the contest on Saturday.
Bats deep, Mr. Lambourne and the Racing Rant team. So if you want more of their stuff, make sure you go to racingrant.com. And best of luck on Saturday, Mark. I'll talk to you then.
Thanks, Scoot. I am girding my loins as we speak.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I've got to Google that to even know what it means, but geez, it sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, he's getting ready. He's getting ready for a big one. Racingwatch.com.au for more of Johnny's stuff. I think he's got a little free trial, so you can jump in the Little Birdie Discord channel for that link, or maybe you might put it in your Twitter profile, the free little trial.
I'll pin it. I'll pin
it somewhere or put it somewhere. So racingwatch.com.au. And then if you want to get in Walt's team, make sure you head to littlebirdie.tv and head to the John Walter, or just I think it's under Walt or the Racing Watch logo. Click through and get financial with TopSport there. It's going to be hammer and tong, that semi-final one. Next up, we've got John McLEOD joining us. So Johnny is taking on Anthony Don. And similar to, I guess, Racing Rant, he bets very deep. He's got a team behind him. You've seen him at the Gold Coast Magic Mainstream. And he joins us now to talk a little bit about Eagle Farm Racing. How are you, John?
Yes, good. How are you, fellas? What I want to know is who's telling the truth there. I said, Mark's telling Walt what to do. And then Tristan's listening in. So
I don't tell myself the truth, so it's not me.
Oh, geez, I'm going to tell some porkies here. I know that.
Hey, Donnie's too busy reviewing bloody Poonkari for Saturday, so don't worry about playing games with him. He doesn't even know. Well, he's off and gone. Oh yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how the betting is on Saturday. Then we go back to this show and see who was telling the biggest amount of pork pies.
Well, you won't let me have just one bet. Otherwise, I'd lock it in now and shut the bank. That's just, oh my God, this is not going to be pretty.
Yeah, I think one of the rules, or the most important rule, is you got to have 5 bets across 5 different races. So it'd be a pretty boring stream if Walt just had 10,000 each way on Surefire and just shut up and put himself in the cupboard.
5 a win, 20 a place.
Be interested to see what happens there. But how's the nerves for this week, and how are the guys peeling through the rest of the form? Obviously, the fleet's looking far and wide. It's not just you, Johnny, the boys, Tommy and Jacoby sniffing around, your brother. What's going on?
Yeah, we've got a lot going on. Sort of, we've got one down. Brody's away. He's at Fraser, but we've got Brad looking at the Gold Coast.
It's a big loss. That's a big loss.
But we've got Tom. He'll probably be looking at Sydney as well as Eagle Farm, and he might even look at Toowoomba. So I think we only got one race we can look at Toowoomba, can't we? It's the time restraints.
Yeah, big handicap job that. So unless you find the winner in the first, you cactus.
Jokes aside, and I know we're time poor, but I have spent a lot of time with that Brody, and he is a monster asset to MacBet. He is a freak of nature. He's a good fella, good angles, good kid, and he's got an excellent brain.
He is. He's very, very cluey bloke, very clever bloke. He's an engineer, and he's a good asset to us. That's for sure.
So not getting nervous at all?
Why would you get nervous when you check your bank account? There's 7 zeros behind your whatever's in there.
Oh well, I filmed the little hype video and the promo video at his apartment. I tell you what,
I saw that. I actually had to turn. I just had to listen to it because I was feeling embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, who am I in with here?
He's absolutely airborne.
Lambourne probably lives in the toaster, and Donnie and I are on bread and water.
It's not a bad spot here. I like the office, and you can walk down and have lunch and dinner and a bit of brekkie. I think I get down there about 6 days a week. I think down to the brekkie.
I think the only request from Johnny McLeod is don't come too early. So I think he probably doesn't roll that flop out of bed till 8:30 or 9 o'clock. We've done half a day's work by then.
Yeah, no. Well, I've been attacked about 37,000 times by then, but he's been there and done that with the young lunatics. I'm still going through it, and so are you.
Let's just for formality's sake, let's have a look at a race with a winning chance at Eagle Farm on Saturday. I'm not even sure if you're going to back it. I don't even know if you're telling us the right horse after what you've just said, but Eagle Farm Race 3 is the race here. It's a 1,400 metre handicap. Plundering's a favourite. It's undefeated. $2.20. Boom Court $3.50. Honky Tonk Diva $8.50. Narnia is $8.50, and then horses like Secret Quality and Noah Done Deal is $13, $14, and Better the Rest. Plundering's the horse that we're going to have a look at in the Annabelle Neesham colours, in the all blue, big white baldy face with the pink cap, and gets the job done here. Tell us why you like this one.
Well, he's just done a couple of really good things. First starting the race, he sat 3 wide and just kept on coming to the line, and then the other day he just parked behind him. He showed a little bit of speed and parked him behind him, and then just showed a really good turn of foot on a wet track. Now, it is going from a slow track to Eagle Farm, but he just got he is improving, and I think Donnie should back it because I'm potting it.
Now this is the old. Hey? I'm having conniptions here myself, trying to work out whether he's throwing off.
You don't have to worry about him until the grand final. So you just got to get past Lambourne first.
Oh, Jesus!
All right, so you got horses like Boom Court or Honky Tonk Diva.
You're saying there might not be a southerly at Randwick on Saturday. You're saying I better check the weather. He's giving us his best
lay for the day.
Oh man,
he handled me.
No. So I'm looking. I think Plundering from the gate is in a bit of trouble. There's a couple of horses that definitely want to be in the 1-2 spot, so he can't be there. And I think the stablemate Narnia will go forward and get into about 3rd or 4th. And there's a couple of horses that want to be around that position as well. So Plundering's going to have to either push the button, Loy, and get around Boom Court, which he can't, or he's going to have to ease back and hopefully slot in 3 wide with a bit of cover and just hope. So him going up 5 kilos on his run the other day, having to do the right thing this Loy, which he rides good. I can't knock him, and he might ride it, perfect. But he's got to make the right decisions at the right time to get it to 230. So I'm keen to play against it. And there's a few there that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Boone Court, Narnia, Soothsayer. They're the three horses I'm looking at. Depending on how this track plays in the first couple of races, they're the ones I'll be trying. I don't know which ones at the moment I'm going to be forcing. I've got a good feeling about the three, and it is the stablemate of the Toppy. But I'm looking to do that. I'm looking to bet in this race.
It looks like Tommy Henjack's knocked off Soothsayer at TopSport, 21 into 16. So.
And then he'll tip it on Wolf Den just to make sure that it friggin' firms right up the big fella. Holy heck.
Oh.
It's going to be a good... I just think, everyone has seen his run. They can see what he did the other day. He put them away, but he put away a couple of horses that probably didn't handle the track. I know the third horse came out and won yesterday, won by a couple of lengths, but he had it very easy in front. And he got beaten by 3 lengths by Plundering. I think everyone is going to be looking for this horse to say, Jesus, form's good. It's beaten a couple of quality horses. Well, be hard to beat, but it has gone up in distance, and map's bad. So that's what I'm looking for. I look for that sort of thing. Favourites that just have a few little problems and they're short enough. I'm happy to bet against them. But, if Plundering had drawn the right gate, well, then I'm sort of hands in the air. I probably can't get it to 230, but I wouldn't be betting against it just because how much improvement it's going to take and it's going to get the right run. So it just really all depends with us is maps. Maps make a big difference to us and positioning of horses. And I think this is going to be in trouble.
All right. We'll see if you're telling the truth come Saturday. But the Eagle Farm fields look probably as big as Randwick. So fingers crossed. There's a bit of meat on the bone. So there's going to be action left, right, and centre. So if you join Team MacBet, there'll be a little bit more betting at Eagle Farm. But I'm sure the boys, as I said before, they're going to scout out wide. But what's the saying? Never trust a bookie. So what's that make a third generation bookie? Just put him straight in the bin.
Fourth. I'm fourth.
Fourth generation.
You make that. They call that living on the river with a big bank account.
Plenty.
Yeah, big bank account.
No, I'm caught and what do they call it? I've catched and killed my own the whole way. So
that's what Lindsay Gallagher used to tell me too.
A Waterhouse or a Gallagher? Then is that what you are? Weighted.
No, don't put me in one of those boats. I don't want to be. I'd rather be in a bathtub out in the middle of the water, nowhere.
I tell you what, he's been solid as a rock on all streams thus far and super patient. So he'll be picking the eyes out of him. So make sure you head to littlebirdie.tv and select Team MacBet and then get financial through TopSport if you want to jump on Johnny McLeod's coattails. I'll let you go finish the form now that you're a man down, Johnny, and I'll talk to you on Saturday. Good luck.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thanks,
mate. Beautiful. I think we've got there. Now it's time for Donny's Best.
G'day, gentlemen. It was good to get 2 collects last week. Let's keep the momentum rolling. I have to be a little bit careful this week with Donny's Best Bets. I am taking on John McLeod in the Masters stream. I've heard from reliable sources this is his favourite segment, and he generally just copies what I say and sells it to his subscribers. So I can't give away too much. But I think there's a good thing on Saturday. It's pretty obvious. It's a Fireburn in race 6 at Randwick over the 1,600 metres. It was one of the better runs of the race in the Golden Rose. That form will stand up over the rest. It likes the 1,600. It loves a wet track. Brendan Abdullah's got options. Coming down the middle of the track should be the place to be this time of day. At $2.50, I think it's a good thing. I'm backing it for myself. We're backing it for my club. Just depends how many zeros I've got on the end of that bet. So keeping it pretty simple this week. Fireburn, race 6 at Randwick on Saturday. Good luck. Join my team. Let's go.
Donny's, that's as dead as you can run. Just put up Fireburn at $3 or $2.50 or whatever the price is, and then just not give any other insight. So yeah. I tell you what, they just got the bare knuckle street fight over at semi-final number 2.
Ago too, like it's yeah, you're going to chime in like it feels a bit grey, doesn't it? Like he's not even
he's not trying. Yeah, I like it.
There's no mentions of trial, so you know that he only hasn't even got to the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. So a bit of Ducks and Drakes over at semi-final number 2 with MacBet and Donny. So fascinating to see how this all falls on Saturday. I can't wait to see who cracks and who thrives under the pressure. Let's have a quick look at TopSport Steamers. The big bets here, we've got race 8, number 1, top rank, 1,000 at $6. Flemington, we've already discussed that one. Flemington race 2, number 9, the Garden, is 1,700 at $3.90. Nico, want that ticket?
Interesting one. We were sort of on him last start at, I think, 260 or 270, and now he comes up against Visionari, who jumped out really well. I would imagine one of them wins. I'd probably lean Visionari, but the Garden is the horse with the winning form, so couldn't knock it. But
character was interesting there too, but a weird one, like going 14-15 back to 14 character, but the dry track's really important for it, I think.
Yeah, he's in the game, but I'd probably want like 260 to back Visionari. I don't know if you'll get it, but I think he wins.
That's the ex-Sam Cav horse, isn't it? The front running.
I think so. The big grey.
Yeah, nice horse.
Next one here is race 7, number 4, Profondo, 500 at $10. Oh, I'm not sure.
It's hard to lay one at $10, but
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I feel safer on the other side of the
Are they going to take the handbrake off this horse this weekend?
He might, maybe back to Melbourne way. He only got sort of absolutely butchered there a couple of times, didn't he? So maybe dry deck at Flemington might suit him, but he just seems to be overdoing it inside himself in the run.
And the last one here is race 9, number 2, and it's Major Beal, 750 at $7.50.
Yeah, this will be one DK can probably come with recently. Heavy 10 back to good 3 sort of races. They're going to be sort of tough to work out a few of these, and that's what, him, Mr. Maestro, and the third horse, the Waller horse, also sort of come out
or
of.
whatever the lot was called.
Yeah,
yeah. The passes for me generally. Every individual situation is different, but I've done a lot of stats off heavy 10s and stuff. How they go off and the stats are in the toilet.
And I think it's like 6th run first prep, and he was like building. Then he had the perfect run there the other day and sort of flopped, didn't he? So whether he's cooked for the prep or back to dry, he's a dead set hard horse to work out.
We've made it. We've got through the show. So good luck on the weekend, gents. Nico, we might cross to you a couple of times on Saturday from Flemington. Can't show your face, but we'll get your audio and your little horse graphic and get some insights out of the yard on
Any
Saturday.
outwiders, my phone's on.
For both boys.
We've got to take these fellas down. If otherwise, I'm not going to hear the end of it from Gordo for the next probably 35 years.
Yeah, I'll probably HQ only. I don't know if Matoa, there didn't look a whole lot of meat on the bone for me, but
you've got a brother that looks out
out here. What are you talking about?
I was just looking at them.
They're out. Oh,
I wanted to back one horse at Matoa, that Captain Envious, and he's drawn barrier number 1. So that probably puts him a bit out of play, given he gets back to near last. So probably not the track to be doing that on.
Might have said he was a horse to follow out of Warwicknabeal, didn't I? Way back.
Yep.
People laughed at me. Where's your horse to follow? I said, go to Warwicknabeal. And this thing of Prushkas.
Bolted in last start.
Did it what? D. Yendel. I didn't even see it was into. It was kicking 3 in front at the 100. Didn't even look at the race. Anyway, nice horse.
All right, if you're still listening, there's a $50 dart for the Masters Club. So if you want to join the winner of this competition at Augusta, $50, a $50 membership gets you a chance to win the prize. So I tell you what, there'll be limited amount of people that buy this trip. So your odds to actually win this is absolutely huge. So $50 dart to win basically a $9,500 Australian prize to go to the Masters in 2023. So one of the 4 punters will be joining the lucky winner of that. So
me and Chubbs.
You and Chubbs.
You and Chubbs and Scoot at the Masters. Chubbsy.
Could be Walt, could be Donny, could be Johnny McLeod or Mark Lambourne. Fascinating. And I tell you what, that will be the trip of a lifetime. So $50 dart, head to littlebirdie.tv. We'll figure out how you can get into that. Simple. Just whack it on the credit card and away you go. That's the end of our show. It's been a 4-hour episode. If you're still listening, well done. Hopefully we've found you a couple of winners. Hopefully you enjoy the stream. Hopefully we absolutely strip TopSport. I'd love every punter to 4x or 5x their cash. And I hope it comes down to the last race for some pure entertainment on Saturday. Good luck across the weekend. And we'll talk about how it all went down on next week's show.